one who would confirm the covenant to his people. Now, I mean, doesn't that frustrate you that you have this, and at the Quran you're saying yourself, even in their own teaching that God has a leg and that he has pretty much the shape of a man in that case, but yet in the Christian circle we teach, and Jesus himself said God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. God is not a man. In fact, you're right. They quote the Old Testament saying God is not a man, but yet in their own teaching he has a leg. Is that correct? He has a leg, but he's not a man, right?
Yes, they refuse him as a man, but in the same time they say to us, Allah is a leg. This is why
right.
In general, Christians they do not know anything about Islam. When Muslims from their early age they've been trained to attack Christianity, because all their religion is based in attacking you. You as a Christian, you go to the church, everybody praying to the whole world for peace and love. You go to the mosque, God killed them, God destroyed them. Those who they are the Christians and the Jews. Muhammad said, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ الْيَهُودَ وَالنَّصَارَى. Allah cursed those who they say we are Jew and the Christian. This is their teaching. Actually, if you go to the Quran, just to show you it's a huge difference, it's not only about God. The whole idea, in Christianity, all of it, it's about love and loving others. Love your enemy.
Right.
Pray for the one who cursed you. Bless him. Islam
right.
is about killing your enemy, and the enemy, who is the enemy? The enemy is anyone who rejects Allah, not someone who will harm you. It is anyone who rejects Islam. The enemy of Islam is anyone who don't accept Islam is an enemy. Islam divides the world between two: the world of peace, or the land of peace, and the land of war. The land of peace, it is supported under the control of the beast, which is Islam. The land of war is any country is not accepting Islam.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and exactly. And the fact is, if you don't convert to Islam, it's pretty much death.
Right.
Right. And if you leave Islam, death.
It is death anyway.
And in Christianity, we teach that the love is fulfillment of the whole law, which is taught in all the New Testament, that love is the fulfillment of the law completely, to love. And that by Christ telling his apostles that they would know they're from him because they love one another, and they do those things, they follow what Christ said. It's not about anything as far as being, hatred or killing, but I know it, and even in the countries of Iraq and in Egypt, where a lot of the Muslims flourish there, it's all about death, and it's all about martyrdom. Is that true? I mean, they want to be martyred so they can get the rewards in heaven. I mean, from the true Islamic standpoint of the teaching, it comes to be martyrdom. Is that true?
Yeah, this is what he did. Actually, he was so smart to fool the Muslims by making such a promises. The Muslims, when he died, he is not really dying for the sake of Muhammad, not dying for the sake of Allah. He is dying for the sake of sex. This is a sexual religion from every side and aspect you take it. Islam, from the beginning, it's about sex. Muslims until now, in the time of Muhammad and after and until now, they are not allowed to wear an underwear when they go around the Kaaba. They put a sheet around themselves because in the time of Muhammad they used to walk naked and they used to have sex around the Kaaba. Actually, yesterday we were talking about, that some of the men of the Sahaba of the Prophet, they said, we do after we do like walking around the Kaaba and going to Arafah, our private part drip sperm having sex with women. So they are having sex during that. And if you look at the black stone, which is every Muslim he has to kiss when he go to the Hajj, simply, if you ask him why you are kissing it, he will say, because Muhammad he kissed it. Okay, why Muhammad he kissed it? They will say to you, oh, it's a stone fell down from heaven. I'm so right. Happy that it's not a donkey fell down from heaven, because it's, imagine if we have a donkey now next to the Kaaba and everybody is kissing it because it fell down from heaven.
Yeah.
But the fact, the black stone is an idol for a woman's vagina.
And you know what?
Arab people,
yeah. Go ahead.
The Arab people used to worship this private part as the private part, the daughter of Allah. And they believe that this is where they came out from, because what they see, that's always the baby is coming out from the private part of the women. So they worship that idol, the black stone. If you go and look at the shape now, right now in the internet, go and search for the black stone, and look at the shape, you will see it's exactly made as a women's private part. then ask yourself if I am saying is true or not, and why it is like that. Is it an accident? Absolutely not, because this
Right.
was an idol, and people used to kiss it as an act of worship.
Right. And you know what, Christian Prince? I mean, I have to just say, we only got about 3 minutes remaining, but I want to say that a lot of what you said is coming out straight from the teaching itself. And, you know, I usually like to play little things, and it's like, you know, I feel like a lot of it comes from, you know, from the Twilight Zone, what we like to hear a lot of, you know. It's just way out there. And it just seems like a lot of people have been misled in this, that dealing with, they think that Muhammad was the prophet, that the Quran is the word, even though it confirms already what's been put forth as almost as it was copied or brought in and then revamped to fit Muhammad's own lustful desires. I mean, like you just said, to die and to go to heaven, to just have sex with your virgins and your children and having the boys, 300 boys. I mean, that is what you're looking for at martyrdom. That's what you're looking for. It's what you're getting in heaven as a fornication. You want to go to heaven so you can fornicate for the rest of your life. I mean, that's what you're looking at. The bottom line is you're looking at that principle of where you go afterward and what you're looking for in heaven. I mean, am I wrong, or is that pretty much what they're going to? You got give me about a minute of that there, Christian Prince.
I will make it so short for you. Islam fits perfectly in a Playboy station. And actually, if they go there, they can close that station and be number one in the world in that business. Because
you know what, though? You know what? I'd say Playboy is a little bit too, still a little bit too subtle. So I'd say more of Hustler or in the more stronger magazines, because that's when you start getting the real graphic images. Not Playboy is still a little more conservative compared to Hustler. I think Hustler fits more.
One thing before we close.
Sure, go ahead.
There's a hadith, Muhammad, he said, in the heaven of Allah there is a market. In that market, they sell nothing and buy nothing except magazine. Magazine have pictures of men and women. And the picture you like, you go inside and have sex. So Muhammad is telling us about the Playboy long time before it exists.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That's it, I'm done.
Okay. Good point. Well, you know what? I got about less than a minute remaining. I'd like to say one thing for all you listeners. We have a different, a lot of people in the room right now, and I appreciate everybody listening. And we have our guest, Christian Prince, who basically shed some light on Islam and the Quran and so forth. For those of you still listening, I want to say this, is that you can visit my website, nhbchristiantalk.org. I have a number of different articles on there. You can find a few of my books on there on different topics. But if you go to nhbchristiantalk.com, you can see some of the things that I have on there, some of the books, or actually visit also Christian Prince's investigatingislam.com and mohammedtube.com, and you'll find a lot of the resources that he's put out there and a lot of what he said, and you can find a lot of it there. So I want to let everybody out there that this was an open forum discussion as well as controlled, that we wanted to show that within Islam and the Quran, that there are some serious things that need to be looked at. And, from the standpoint of saying, even as in respect, we don't, even myself, my own investigation, I can't seem to follow, as compared to what we have as the Bible, the New Testament, and the Tanakh, there's any comparison as far as who God is, who the Scriptures attest to. We don't have it. With 10 seconds left, I want to say thank you to everybody. Christian Prince, thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for the listeners. And God bless. Take care. Good